Oh yeah, I consent. I'm 18.
Yeah, we're both 18, that's for sure. So, um, this is my friend, my new friend, Dave Comstock, and I asked him to come on to talk about his new book that he published. And I'm honored to share this book. I'm honored to be a small part of the book as far as writing the prologue and writing a little bit of the back of the book blurb. And just full disclosure, before coming on and recording this, I kind of did some pre-reading, and honestly, I was brought to tears again. And that's really, I share that because that's why I'm supporting Dave. That's why I'm supporting this work, and that's why when he sent this in an email, like, "Hey, would you run this through?" It instantly resonated, and I knew 100% that this message would not only help me by reading it, and it was helping me as I was reading it in real time, but that this was a message that would help the world and the same audience that I have with my books. This book is just such a beautiful, beautiful introduction to DMT, to psychedelics, and truly a story of growth. So that being said, this is Serpentrise. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. Dave and his brother created the design, and my goal with this video is to read the prologue, which again I was fortunate enough to write, and then he has a couple of opening pages titled "The Feeling of Home in Origin Encounter," and I think that hopefully, if I read it right and don't break down into tears again, will be a perfect introduction to this book, and hopefully that will spark interest and potentially support the book and buy it. And I don't want to just throw this out willy-nilly, but if somebody can't afford this and money is a limitation, let me know and I'll buy you a copy of the book, and I'll be happy to send it to you. And I say that honestly and sincerely because this book will help you. So, the prologue, written by Adam Butler. It is a bold ambition to attempt to elaborate on the ineffable, even more challenging to articulate and illustrate a transformative DMT experience. How does one describe experiencing eternity, dissolving into vibration, and communicating with infinite intelligence? What does it feel like to be embraced by divine love, to disconnect from your physical body, and to receive geometric information by telepathic conveyance? Is it possible to accurately share the visceral sensations one has when blasting into the DMT realm, or the feelings you experience as you absorb by osmosis back into the universal energy field that created the very life force that fuels the cosmos? The short answer is no. There's absolutely no way anybody could comprehensively paint the picture of what it looks like having a DMT-induced epiphany, or properly represent the entity interaction that takes place at higher dimensions. But is there a benefit in trying? A resounding yes. We are all unique expressions of the same vibrational force, and it is our personal perspectives and filters that add the iridescent and colorful sparkle to our human existence. Serpentrise is a beautiful recalling of one man's transformational and transcendental interaction with Source. Dave Comstock takes us along on his inner journey of outward expansion, with a poetic beauty that induces goosebumps, elicits excitement, and fills the reader with a curious fascination. If one is a seasoned psychonaut, Dave's recollection will be a welcome reminder of your own inner divinity and perfection. To the reader who has yet to experience their own Serpentrise, the following words are a beautiful and authentic representation of the astonishment that is available to us all. Those were my words. This, my friends, is Dave Comstock's words. So, before I read this, I'm trying. This is how I read the cadence, and this is how I paced it. This wording is not full sentences. It is not full paragraphs. It's read almost like a poem. Dave and I were talking about almost calling it, or not almost, calling it a codex, how it's kind of like an open-end channeled wording, and it flows beautifully. And I'm going to try to honor that with how I would like to read it. So, again, this is titled "The Feeling of Home in Origin Encounter." I remember the feeling of being home, not metaphorically, not comfort, not imagination, but recognition. A knowing so complete that nothing needed to be proven. There was gratitude first, not gratitude from me, but gratitude through me, as if I were a vessel remembering how to feel again. Gratitude for Source, gratitude for love itself, gratitude so full it felt ancient, practiced, familiar. The serpents were already there, blue, fractal, intelligent. They were not approaching me, they were activating. Their presence carried electricity, and that that electricity began to grow, coil, amplify. It wasn't chaotic, it was precise, intentional, loving. As their energy intensified, it moved through me. Electricity flowed through my body, through my awareness, through whatever boundary I thought separated me from everything else. My entire being began to vibrate, not violently, but ecstatically. A harmonic alignment, a tuning. The vibration became euphoria, not pleasure, truth. The kind that makes tears come without sadness. Tears of joy, tears of remembering, tears of relief. And then there was the merge. The blue gold cobra, radiant, sovereign, unmistakable, was not something I observed. It was something I entered, or something that entered me. The distinction dissolved. I merged with Source as infinite. There was no loss of self, only expansion beyond the need for one. Love was not an emotion there. Love was the structure of reality, the intelligence beneath existence, the reason anything is. In that space, I remembered knowledge, not facts, not language, direction. I know where I am going when I pass through this human life. I recognize it the way you recognize your own name when spoken in a crowded room. There was no fear, only certainty, only home. I came back carrying this knowing, not as belief, but as a memory. Everything that follows in this work is an attempt to translate that moment, not to explain it, not to convince anyone, only to honor it. Fucking power. So, that, if anybody is lost and has been wandering in the woods trying to kill themselves, and they're looking for home, that will hit. And this is where his brother really came in and shined. In this book, there's multiple plates. And again, no one can do this justice, but I think his brother did an amazing job of coming up with some really, really cool plates. And this book is something that can be read in an afternoon, in a day, and it's beautiful. And I highly, highly recommend it. And here it is. So, Dave, thank you. And hopefully I honored your words with that reading. And I didn't cry too much. So, what do you got to say?
I'm honored for you, man. Seriously, I'm blown. It's hard to have words, man. I'm just doesn't seem real to have this impact on somebody and you and this whole experience. It's just surreal, you know. It's wild.
Get used to
It's
it.
wild. There's something to it. Yeah.
You're going to have grown men crying on your video feeds now for the rest of your life. But, man, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So I guess, you know, and I know a little bit about the original email that you sent me and the backdrop of how this story came about. But, I mean, you know, without getting into, you know, the full history, you know, I guess how did Serpentrise really come channeled through you? Because my understanding is that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, pretty much. This is just a documented experience I had one night, you know. A little backstory, like I had just gotten out of the hospital for a week. About done killed myself. They had work to get me back, so to speak, without going into too much detail. Landed me in the hospital for a week, and after, you know, I was able to see some stuff in there and come to realizations internal that I've been struggling with, you know, with my current situation and current situation. So coming to terms with that in the hospital. And so when I got out that night, like all I could think about was getting the fuck out and going camping by myself for a night and having some sort of a ceremony out there and ask for guidance, you know. And it was like 30 degrees that night, so I didn't go camping. But I had a perfect opportunity here at home, and that's what I did, and I literally just asked for guidance. Simple as that. And that's it.
You know, cool. And you don't have to complicate it anymore, because for the people that have had these experiences, and that's why, how do you describe the ineffable? And it is this like translation, this download, this telepathic conveyance. And it's such a beautiful experience when you have it, because it's more than just, and you're a musician. I have several kind of ways of expressing myself. It's more than a flow state. It's more than being dialed in. This really is something higher than yourself, and it does have, and I'm not religious, and I don't want to speak for you, but it's something higher than, it's energetically greater than us, and it's beautiful when you tap into it. And I think the message I'm sharing, and I believe, and I don't want to put words into your mouth, is that this is accessible to everybody. This is accessible to all of us. And man, if you're lost and you're looking for home, that home is within. It's always there. You're not alone on this journey. And there's ways of getting there, whether it be DMT induced or not. There's I can speak on this with confidence. There's ways of getting that self-knowledge and self-love other than plant medicines or psychedelics, and it really is just a process of self-exploration. And I encourage anybody that's going through a dark time, if they're looking for psychedelic literature, this book would be one that I think will ease your mind to know that this experience will really be something that will leave a beautiful, lasting stamp on you. But how do, like, I know you're new to, and like me too, right? You're like before that, like pre this and like pre the book, it's like you want to kind of hide from society and you weren't out there. I guess now that you're a published author, you're going on podcasts. I know you've already been on one with my buddy Shane Jones. Do you have an email address that you want to share, or do you want to direct people towards an Instagram? Or I guess people want to reach you personally, or maybe even if they want a PDF copy of the book, or I guess how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'd be happy to email anybody a copy of the book for sure. Just need your email in turn to do that. But my email is daveycomstock @gmail. And that's DAVEY and then COMSTOCK. That name is my Facebook page. I haven't figured out how to communicate really on my business Facebook page, which is Zen Paddle Fitness Facebook, and then that's when I give updates just about my personal health and what's going on with myself, and if I'm making action with paddleboarding and what I'm doing with paddleboarding and mindfulness, and now possibly incorporate have the book with this, and then maybe somehow music can be part of this, and then integration coaching can be part of this because I'm certified in that now. So it's all going to be possibly part of this, run out of Zen Paddle Fitness Facebook. There's a Zen Paddle Fitness at Gmail, and I think Instagram, even though I can't figure out how to use it, I think that might be through Zen Paddle Fitness or Davey Comstock. I don't know. It's like two different Facebook accounts and one Instagram that I think you or Shane tagged something in. That's the only way I can upload anything is you.
Well, and something I want to add to your list of credentials now, and it's something that really, and take it with full humility because you've really earned it. When I first talked to you a couple months ago, you had no knowledge about publication. You were not even really thinking about necessarily publishing. You were just like, hey, these are my words. So I applaud you for, and yes, maybe I planted the seed, but man, you fucking took it in a short amount of time from concept to really polished manuscript to published book to now in my hands. And it is not some crappy self-published book. I mean, this is a legit book. And I share that because there are a lot of people that have important stories to share, and they think that publishing a book is something that is far-reached or too costly or they can't do, and that is not the case. If you have a story to share that, especially in this realm, that will help people, please share it. And Dave and I are two examples of two gnarly-looking dudes that had no desire or no previous experience writing or publishing books, and here we are, and I know I'll certainly share my experience to help anybody publish the book, and Dave can throw the data points in there too, where it's like this is something that can be done. So I want to add that too, because hopefully there are people that come to you and say, hey, I've got a story to share about being a parent to a suicidal kid, or my parents just died and now I want to talk about end of life scenarios, and you can be a coach and guide getting their story out, and that's something that I hope you do, because you're a good example of turning, again, a concept into something practical or visceral right there. So again, kudos to you. I'm happy to know you. I'm happy to be your friend, and I will happily push this and market this book to the best of my ability, because it's a really, really good book. And I'm not saying that. People bust my chops about using this term. I'm not saying that to fluff your nuts. I'm really, really not. I think this book is awesome, and your words hit, and I love your cadence and flow, and I can't wait for the world to see it, truly. So thank you for what you've done, and this will not be the last time we get on camera together, and this won't be the last time we collaborate. So anything else you want to end with before we hit the end record?
No, I just appreciate everybody for their space and your time, and I appreciate you for your space and your time. And yeah, this is not about me. I got nothing to do with this, the way I see it, and it's so much bigger than anything. Like, I mean, all I am is a conduit for this, and can't say story, but this experience on paper that I try to convey over many months of trying to figure out how to do that to the best of my ability. And I'm, it just, your reaction initially solidified what I was feeling internally. And I had this, I couldn't describe when I first started writing this down, this unimaginable pull inside me. And it's not desire, it was full-blown obsession to get this experience down in a way that was just, well, it was just me just flowing and just basically pen to paper and just keep like fingers on type and just rolled, and I would just type for freaking hours, man, and just what the hell came out. So,
well, you did it. Like
that ended up.
It's fucking gorgeous.
It's that. So, I mean,
well, you did it. Again, proud of you. Honored to be sharing this message. And yeah, Serpentrise, highly recommend this beautiful book. And thank you, Dave. Talk to everybody soon.
Yeah, brother.
Cool.